Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Work in Michigan podcast, where we not only talk about working it, but we also talk about all things entrepreneurship and business related in the high five of the USA and the greater world abroad. My name is John J. Thomas. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. I know your very first thought, I know what it's going to be. Where the hell have you been? And that's a good question. And honestly, the answer is I took some time off. I took a holiday over the holidays. Isn't that perfect timing? It's almost like that's what they were designed to do. Not really. I don't really know what holidays were officially meant to do, but I took some time. I finished my master's program finally. Thank goodness. Thank goodness gracious. That was a lot of fun, but a lot of work, and I'm very happy to be done with that. So took a couple weeks off. Took 3 weeks off, I think. I was going to get back to recording earlier this past week here, or I guess last week, by the time this goes out, but I got a cold, and as you can hear, I'm getting over that right now, and I just sounded like absolute crap, and I was like, I don't feel like talking into the microphone right now. Anyways, so with the new year here, I wrote a blog post about this. That's also has gone live at the same time that this has gone live here, but I want to talk about New Year's resolutions. And I could make a whole video about this and talk more about New Year's resolutions from like a health and wellness or financial standpoint, just kind of a personal betterment standpoint. But I wanted to talk about this in relation to business as well, because so many of us set up goals for, I mean, they're not New Year's resolutions, but every business should be setting goals to reach in the next year, the next 2 years, the next 5 years, the next 10 years, whatever it may be. We did a whole podcast about goal setting already. This is kind of an extension of that, but I kind of want to focus on just planning for 2022. So that's what we're going to discuss here today, and I want to share with you actually what my New Year's resolutions are. Some of them are related to business. Most of them are related to business. But some of them are related to just, personal stuff as well. So we're going to get into all of this right after this intro. I'm just kidding. I don't have an intro. Maybe that should be a New Year's resolution, to get an intro created and set up and ready to go for this. Yeah, I'm still coughing. For this podcast. Man, taking 3 weeks off, and now I'm forgetting how to talk into a microphone and look at a camera and read a screen, and oh my gracious, what is going on? All right, let's go with this. So, introduction, fair warning, complete transparency with all of you. I have a complicated relationship with New Year's resolutions. And when I say a complicated relationship, I mean that it is not simple. But ultimately, my feelings on New Year's resolutions are a little mixed. On one hand, I think that New Year's resolutions are very good and useful and can be ultimately life-changing. However, I think a lot of them are pretty fleeting and ultimately fail. And I think that there's a whole culture around you have to create a New Year's resolution. You have to set a goal. You have to do something, and you got to do all these different things. You got to completely change yourself. And I think that that's where it gets bad. And I don't think people know how to set good goals, and I mean technically good goals, for themselves, that they can actually set themselves up for success. I think there's a bunch of reasons, and I talk about it in the blog post, and I guess we're just going to kind of review this, because I understand that not everybody, it's an important topic for me personally. I think this is a very big topic, especially in my path to setting New Year's resolutions and self-reflection, and ultimately setting goals that I can reach. So I want to pass this on to as many mediums as I can. I want to have it on the podcast. I'll upload this to YouTube as well, so it's a video, but also it's in the blog format, because I really want everybody to be able to hear this, because I hope that it helps somebody out. So before we continue, in this podcast or video or whatever it may be that you are consuming this through, I may mention health and wellness or finances or anything like that as a New Year's resolution and an example. Please know that I'm not giving you any advice on health and wellness or finances. You should talk to your doctor, healthcare provider, or your financial advisor, the respective person for the advice that you are seeking. This is just purely for examples and entertainment's sake. So, 4 reasons why New Year's resolutions often fail. 1, taking on too many New Year's resolutions at once. Now, this is common, I think, because everybody is like, I want to lose weight, I want to be better at saving money, I want to start a business, I want to make more friends, I want to go out more, I want to drink less, I want to, and they just list off all of these things. Now, you'll notice there's an issue with all of those in that they're all very vague. And your resolutions and your goals should not be very vague. They should actually be rather specific. And we'll get into SMART goals at the end of this podcast, and we'll discuss how to create SMART goals. I might actually do a couple just live right here, right now. So taking on too many New Year's resolutions at once. Think about it. So humans are creatures of routine. I know a lot of people like to think that we all like spontaneity and that we don't like routines, or routines slow us down. That's not exactly true. People are actually big fans of routines. We rely on them pretty heavily, and they do ultimately help us out a lot in our daily lives. If you had to come up with a completely new routine every single day, it would be exhausting, and you wouldn't be able to do a lot of the things that you do truly enjoy doing in an average day. And that's not to say that throwing in some spontaneity in your life, like, let's just go out to dinner tonight. Why not? Like that's fine. That's good spontaneity. Go for it. Whatnot. That's fine. But routines, we all have the way that we usually like our day to go. We have a way that we like our evenings to be, our weekends. We have a general routine that we like to follow. So if you take on a bunch of resolutions and you completely try to change a bunch of different things at once, it's gonna ultimately lead to burnout pretty quickly, and it's gonna make you probably not a happy person. So let's say, for example, and I don't know, let's say your New Year's resolutions were to read for a half hour every day, to work out for an hour every day, and to, I don't know, let's say talk on the phone with one friend every day. That's a pretty impressive change, actually. Especially for me, I'm a recluse. I don't talk to that many people. It's sad. Maybe I should make that a New Year's resolution. All right, so if you do all of these things, reading for a half hour every day, that's 30 minutes. Working out for an hour every day, that's another 60. So now I got 90 minutes. And being on the phone. Chances are that phone call is probably going to last about 20 minutes to an hour. So let's say you're automatically at least at, we'll just say you're at 2 hours a day that suddenly you got to find. And look, you can find that time throughout your day. You can wake up early. You can go to bed later. You can stop scrolling through social media. You can maybe call your friend on a commute to work. You can listen to an audiobook instead of reading. I mean, there's things that you can do to try to fit all that in there. But if you try to completely insert or change your entire life in just like right in one day, like, okay, January 1st, we're starting this and we're going for it and we're going to keep doing this every day, it's going to probably lead to burnout. And it is difficult to implement all of those things all at once and stay consistent with it. So there's a couple different methods you can use to, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't have more than one New Year's resolution. If you feel like you can handle more than one New Year's resolution and you want more than one New Year's resolution or one goal to set for your next upcoming year, by all means, go for it. But there's a couple different methods that you can use to increase your chances of success. One would be staggering the New Year's resolutions. Maybe you decide which is most important to you. Maybe that's talking to a friend on the phone every day. So, okay, starting in January, every day, I'm going to talk to a friend every day, 20 minutes, whatever it may be, right? So, okay, January, doing that. It takes about 60 to 90 days for something to become a habit. So let's say after 60 days, we'll just make math easy. We'll put you at March. Okay, March comes along. Habit of talking on the phone to a friend every single day is pretty well established. So now I'm going to start exercising every day. So now, okay, well, that habit's done. So now March, every single day for an hour, I am exercising, whether that's a walk or lifting weights or working with kettlebells or calisthenics or riding a bike, whatever it may be. Okay, so now after a couple of months, another 60 to 90 days, that's set into your schedule as another habit. So now you got both of these two habits, okay, and okay, now you can work on the reading. So okay, now I'm going to put in reading too. So now you're in June, and throughout the rest of the year, you're going to do all three of these things. Staggering those out allows you to adjust your routine and find ways to work that into your current life and your current commitments, rather than trying to shift it all at once and then getting overwhelmed and burnt out and be like, I can't do this, whatever. It must not work. I guess I can't do it, and done. Another method that you can use is actually the baby step method. And that would be, as the name suggests, using baby steps. So, all right, you want to work out every single day, ultimately for an hour. You want to read every day, ultimately for an hour. And you want to talk on the phone to a friend every day. So maybe you start all of them at the same time, but you implement this in baby steps. So, okay, I'm going to work out for 10 minutes every day for the first 2 weeks, then 20 minutes, and then 30 minutes, and then 40 minutes, and then 50 minutes, and then 60 minutes, so that you're building up that time capacity. You're also reading. So maybe you're like, okay, I can't read for a half hour every day, but I'm going to start out reading for 10 minutes a day as well. And then slowly building that up. And, I can't talk on the phone with a friend every single day right away, but maybe I do that first couple weeks, I do once a week, then twice a week, then 3 days a week, then 4. And you slowly implement this. Again, this will help you ultimately build that habit, because you are still doing this every day, but you are adapting to it and you're building up your tolerance and your ability, and you're finding ways to fit that into your schedule and your routine. It can definitely help you avoid the burnout and adapt as you go along, rather than putting yourself into a light state of shock of like, oh my gosh, like, everything else is happening and now I got this and I can't do it and this is too much. Slow and steady getting there, taking longer to get there, but being effective is a better strategy than just going for it and then ultimately losing your steam and losing any hope that you have. I'm getting a call from Brooke right now. I'm going to leave this in, actually. I'm going to talk to her really quick. Hey, what's up? I don't actually. Let me see. Hang on.
Have fun. Bye. Love you.
Bye. Love you too. All right. So I cut out the conversation because it was very vulgar, actually. No, it wasn't vulgar. I've been listening, so I love punk rock and pop punk and all. I mean, if it's like hardcore punk rock or if it's pop punk, I really enjoy basically all of it. And there's a Canadian band, punk rock band called PQ, PKEW, and they have a song called Let's Order a Pizza, and I showed that song to Brooke a little while ago, and now she's showing it to people. It is a funny song. It's a great song. They're a great band. If you're into punk rock, definitely check them out. They're an awesome band. I'm going to see if I can see them if they ever come back around to Michigan. So they're a good band. I like them a lot. I think you'll either love it or you will absolutely hate it. It's just, and there's nothing wrong with either one. It's okay. All right. Let's get back into setting goals, because that's the important stuff here, not music. No, I'm kidding. Music is very important to me. Okay. So reason number 2 that that people fail in their New Year's resolutions, unfortunately, is that they're setting goals that are unrealistic. Now, note that unrealistic does not mean lofty. I love big goals. I love goals that are hard to reach. I love goals that will test you and push you. I love goals that are like, you know what, we really got to bust our ass to get there. I like those goals, and I think everybody should set those types of goals. If the goal's too easy to reach, then what kind of challenge is that really? So I like setting lofty goals. But some goals are simply unrealistic. In the blog post, I actually used an example of a pet groomer, right? And this isn't an actual pet groomer. This is just an example. I said that this pet groomer in the example wanted to triple the number of clients that she had. However, she was already working 30 hours a week on the current number of clients that she had, That ultimately, that 30 hours did not include the administrative costs of, accounting, taxes, ordering new product, driving places. Like, none of that stuff was involved. It was purely this. The solo entrepreneur did not want to hire any additional help. No employees, no anything. She wanted to completely be on her own. I was talking about that, how that is completely unrealistic, and you're setting yourself up for failure. No one's going to be working 90 hours a week doing that, and then all the administrative stuff, and sleeping, and eating, and having a life. That's not realistic. So I said, a better goal would be I want to double my income for this, whatever. Man, my brain's not working today. I am so sorry. And I think I'm starting to lose my voice too from talking too much. So we'll see how it sounds at the end of this podcast. But I said, maybe doubling your income in the next year would be a better goal. So that's lofty. Doubling your income is a lofty goal. However, it is something that is doable for the pet groomer in this example. She could increase her prices. That's one option. She could specialize in a certain area or a certain grooming technique that is in demand, but very few people are doing it because it's more difficult, maybe even more time consuming, so she can charge more for that. But she could also start selling products of like, hey, you know what? Yes, I come here and, or you come here, or I go there. Or I don't remember if I said if it was a mobile. Oh, I said it was a mobile pet groomer. So, hey, you know what? This is good product for your pet's hair. I recommend washing your pet with this every week or every 2 weeks. This is something that I would recommend. Or hey, if you got this, whatever. This is like the brush that I use. Selling products that way would be a way for her to increase her profit margin, not even profit margin, increase her sales and ultimately the money coming in, but not having to work 100 plus hours a week. So set lofty goals, but don't set unrealistic goals. And we'll get again to that in the SMART goals. All right, another reason. I know I said I was going to do 4, but I'm starting to lose my voice, so I'm gonna just skip this over and just do 3 of the goals and then try to get the SMART goals in because I think that's really important. If you want to check out the other goal, go check out the blog post on my website. It's related to planning, establishing a plan. Go check out my thoughts on that over there. So the next reason why most resolutions fail, and I actually think that this is the biggest reason, is that people don't set goals that are specific enough. Setting a goal of losing weight or growing my business or saving more money really aren't great goals because they aren't very specific and you don't really know whether or not you're reaching the goal or not. So a better alternative, instead of saying, I want to save money, a better goal that you can track and you can see whether or not you're doing it, you can hold yourself accountable for, is I want to save 5% of my income in the coming year. A better goal than a better goal than simply stating I want to lose weight is I want to lose 30 pounds in the coming year. That is something that is specific. You can break that down into monthly chunks, like, okay, well, that means it's what, like 2 and like a third pound or something, like 2 to 3 pounds a month essentially is what you would have to lose at that point every month. And that helps you keep that on track. Half a pound a week kind of thing. So that would help you out a lot there. You can track it as you go, see what you're doing that week. Is it helping you out? Do I need to lose a little bit more this week? Someone on vacation last week, whatever it may be. And again, a better goal than just saying, I want to grow my business is I want to grow my business by 20%. Again, you can track it. You can see whether you were successful and you can see the things that were helping you reach that goal. And if there's a point that you started changing things and sales went down and you weren't reaching that goal, maybe you need to change some stuff up. Being specific is very important. Now, a bonus thing that I actually did not mention in the blog. So, wow, this makes up, I guess, for missing out on another one. A bonus thing is actually telling people what your New Year's resolutions are, like I am doing right here and about to tell you my New Year's resolutions. Stating them publicly actually increases your chances of committing to it, because people do not want to be seen as, this is like very deep fundamental human psychology here. People don't want to be seen as inconsistent with what they say. They don't want to be seen as flaky. They don't want to be seen as liars. They want to be seen as honest and truthful in what they say and true to their word. So if you tell people, post it on your Facebook wall, tell your whole family, tell your friends, whatever it may be, these are my New Year's resolutions. This is what I will be doing by the end of the year. Greatly increases your chances, because you don't want to let those people down and you don't want to be seen as a failure to them. And, look, there may be circumstances that do come up that I just can't reach this goal because X, Y, and Z. But telling those people your goals greatly increases your chances of actually sticking to those goals. So, how do we create good goals? Well, we create SMART goals. And SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, actionable, reachable/realistic, and time-based. As my voice is going, and it's actually starting to hurt to talk, dang, I thought I was getting out of this cold. I am getting out of the cold. It's just, I just haven't talked this much in like a week and a half or so. My SMART goals, or my New Year's resolutions, however we want to phrase this for the next year. Number one, I want to record and publish a free 5-day Intro to Marketing for Small Businesses course. And I want that to be launched by March 1st, 2022. It's the first week of January right now, so I got about just under 2 months to actually make this happen. I have the content idea of what I want to do for this course. Now I need to script it out, record it, edit it, and then ultimately publish it. And if you subscribe to my email list, that's basically how everybody's going to get it. It's going to be like, hey, sign up for my email list and I want to give you this free 5-day Intro to Marketing course. And then everybody will get, the first day you sign up, you get day 1, your homework, day 2, homework, day 3, homework, day 4, homework, day 5, homework. Basically the things that, through my experience, I've learned that most small businesses really need to know to start out with marketing and set themselves on the right path. My second New Year's resolution is to actually read 3 to 4 books related to business, marketing, or leadership every single month for the duration of 2022. So yes, technically, this end date is December 31st, 2022, but actually the end date is the last day of every single month going forth, and this goal continuously repeats. I'm 2 books down already, or I'm 2 books in for January already since I took some time off. I've been reading a lot. I guess technically 1.5, because one I did start in December, but I finished it here in January, and the other one I'm almost done with after a few days here. And my goal actually is to discuss that in every single podcast every week that I'm recording. I'm like, hey, this is a book I'm reading this week. Hey, this is a book I'm reading this week. Now, the reason, I know what you're thinking, 3 to 4 books isn't super specific. You said we should be specific. And I say, yes, I agree, actually. Good catch. The reason I said this, and I put a little asterisk on the blog post here, is that it says it does average about 1 book per week. However, if a book is over 300 pages, I'm allowing myself 2 weeks to read that book. The reason I'm doing that is simply just for time. I don't want to lose out on time with clients or lose out on time with Brooke or building my business or working on Implement Impact or anything else or recording this podcast. I don't want reading to hinder my ability to be a good consultant to all the businesses I work with. I want it to actually aid that. And that's why I want to read this, is because the more I read, the more knowledge I can consume, the more knowledge I can give out and help other small businesses. That's ultimately the goal. Do you hear the cat meowing? He's saying, hey, it's time to be done with recording. I don't know why my cat says yo, but it's something he does now, I guess. My third goal is to publish 50 blog posts and record 50 podcasts by December 31st, 2022. Again, that will average out about 1 per week. And I'm allowing myself 2 weeks in there because 1 week this year I'm getting married. and you just never know what is going to happen in the year. So I'm trying to allow myself a little bit of time or a little bit of leeway here. Again, that's a very lofty goal. That's going to be a lot of work to do, but I do believe I can do it. I've written a lot of blog posts in my life for various companies and various things. I've recorded a lot of podcasts, and I enjoy doing it. And ultimately, again, I want to give out as much information as I can to help out small businesses, for those small business owners and those small business teams to reach their goals and to thrive in a market that's really favoring big businesses over small businesses. I want to be in the corner with the small businesses, helping them out in any way that I can. Another goal I have set for myself is to actually play the guitar for 15 minutes every single day. I'm not going to be super hard on myself. If I go on vacation, I don't take my guitar that I didn't play for those 15 minutes. That's fine. This is a lighthearted goal because everything else is related to business or work or to personal betterment in whatever way it may be. This one really is just to relax and enjoy it. I've been playing guitar for, since I was in 5th grade. In the last couple of years with the master's program and running a business, I just haven't had a whole lot of time to play the guitar. I fit it in here and there, but there have been like 2-3 week stretches that I just didn't play the guitar. And I notice that my life doesn't seem as fulfilling when I don't fit that into my life. So I want to play guitar for 15 minutes a day, whether or not that's playing a song I wrote, playing a song that somebody else wrote, learning a new technique, whatever it may be. 15 minutes. Just sit down, relax, and kind of force myself to just do something I actually love to do. But again, that's a very lighthearted one. If it happens, that's great. If not, this is more just to remind myself to relax a little bit every once in a while. All right, and this last one here that we'll talk about is I actually want to. So I've been a practitioner of the Wim Hof method for 3 years now, I think. And what I would like to do, 2.5 years, 3 years, I don't actually know. It's been some period of time. But in the last year, I have fallen off the bandwagon between starting the business and, again, the master's program. I did let that priority slip. I continued to take cold showers and do cold dips and cold exposure and everything. But I did lose the breathing and meditation part. So I want to bring that back in. I want to do that, incorporate that into my life, and notice that I just felt, well, as Wim Hof says, happier, healthier, stronger. So I want to bring that back, and I will be doing that 4 days at least a week. I'm going to try for every day. That'd be wonderful. But my goal is, set aside 20 minutes to do the breathing and to just relax 4 times a week. That's what I would like to do. So those are my goals. But if you are watching this on YouTube, leave a comment down below about what your New Year's resolutions are, and try to follow that SMART, the specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-based. Try to follow that formula to set your goals out, and set yourself up for the most success that you can have in 2022. 2022 is going to be an awesome year. I'm a firm believer in that. I was actually talking with the client about that the other day. I think it's going to be a difficult year. I don't think 2022 is going to be an easy year, but I think it's going to be truly a wonderful year full of excellent opportunities for a lot of us. So set up your New Year's resolutions, or if you don't want to call them New Year's resolutions, set up your goals for yourself and for your business in 2022. And then set yourself up for success with those goals by making them SMART goals: specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-based. So that at the end of 2022, next year when we record another podcast about setting goals, we'll all be able to look back and say, hey, here's the really cool stuff that we did in 2022. Again, if you're on YouTube, leave a comment down below. Let me know what your New Year's resolutions are. If you're listening to this, or if you're in an area, or if you whatever it may be, and you can't actually leave a comment there, send me an email, send me a message on Instagram, whatever it may be. Let me know what your New Year's resolutions are. It would be wonderful. Join the Work in Michigan Facebook group. Again, maybe post your New Year's resolutions there. I think that would be a wonderful place for all of us to list out our New Year's resolutions and to build each other up and to help hold each other accountable to reaching our goals and to, like I said, encourage everyone. And I will see all of you next week for another podcast. Thank you so much for putting up with my rambling brain after 3 weeks of not recording and losing any talent that I had at talking to a camera and into a microphone. And thank you for dealing with my voice as it is failing me right now. I hope all of you have an excellent 2022. And if there's any way that I can help any of you out, please do not hesitate to reach out. And until next time, have a great day.